All right, cool. Well, welcome everyone. Welcome innovators. This is kind of the first interview we've done with a partner, sponsor, vendor who really loves what we're doing. So today we have Shelli McClintock, who's owner and VP of partnerships for ARYSE. ARYSE is an innovative bracing company within the sports and athletics field. So we are fortunate to have Shelli participate in our summit at Tulsa University, starting to build a great relationship between companies, between individuals, and then how they're really impacting the profession of athletic training. So today it's a free-flowing kind of conversation. It's not really an interview. We have a bunch of athletic trainers on the call. If you guys have questions, just kind of make a comment in the chat that you have a question, and then I'll call on you as we go through it. Because we all know that if everyone tries to talk over each other, it's kind of a convoluted conversation. So at the beginning, I'm just going to let Shelli just kind of give us a background on herself and then the company in general, and then we'll start to dive into some deeper conversations around ARYSE and how it's impacting and innovating athletic training. So Shelli, the floor is yours.
Yeah. Hey, let me know if you can't hear me. We are still, some of us, working out of the office, so you might hear a little bit of noise. So if so, I'll try to go to my AirPods. But yeah. Brief about me, Shelli McClintock. I have been an owner within our different companies. We had several, and I'll explain that because we've all now merged into one called ARYSE. Been doing that for almost 9 years. And previously, before that, I worked with a motivational speaker on business development and pretty much put him out on the road, kept him busy, sold his books and his products. And I realized there was just a ceiling to what I could generate income-wise, because you can only put a speaker on the road so many times. And but I absolutely loved what I was doing and didn't ever really see myself leaving that position because of the person he was. At the same time, my dad and my brother were talking about starting a company, and that was the first one that led to ARYSE. And when they were doing that, sorry, they got really loud out there. When they started talking about that, the one comment was, well, Shelli will never leave her position because she loves it. But if we could get her to join, the three of us had three very different skill sets. Little did they know I was feeling called to give my 2 weeks, which I did with no plan B. I just knew that God was calling me to something bigger in a way that was greater than what I understood, so that I could provide for my 4 kids. And so that's when our first company started. What we started in was more the medical billing, orthopedic brace world. And we were profitable. It was a very successful company, but we just weren't passionate about what we were doing on the day-to-day. And so what we really started identifying is being children from a sports background. My father was a basketball coach. That's where our passion lied, was within athletics. And we started reaching out to different people and realizing there was a need in the space of athletics of innovation that did not exist. And so through relationships that we had built, we decided to take another leap of faith and shut down all of our other companies, take all of the profits, and start ARYSE. And that was 2.5 years ago. My dad and my brother looked at me and said, we need to grow an athletic vertical. You know how to build relationships, go figure it out. And that was the task I was given. And I'm super, super thankful that I was given that, because it created really who I am today, and just the challenges of taking risk, but also meeting incredible people. And along the way, I have met so many athletic trainers, and that's kind of why we're here today, is because we really felt like ARYSE could come alongside athletic trainers who think outside the box, want to create possibly their own companies, ways that we can come alongside them and help build an income. So that's why I'm on the Zoom call. But one more thing about ARYSE, because many people ask like how we got our name, how do you spell it, all of those things. We put ARYSE, the reason we came up with ARYSE was because we wanted to rise up in an industry that was slow to change. And we really knew that people don't view bracing or anything in that world is sexy or fun. So how can you create a brand? But we knew if we did products right that were actually designed around human anatomy and athletes' bodies, they would want a more functional brace. And so we really, with ARYSE, are trying to grow a brand. And the reason we spelled it with a Y is because we are all super passionate here in Lincoln, Nebraska, where our headquarters are, that we all have our own why. My why is going to be completely different than Adam's why, but we all have it, and that's what's going to make us our best. So when we go out there and we look for partnerships, that's what we're looking for, is what's your why, what's our why, and if it makes sense and we can form a win-win partnership, then we're going to. And that's why, honestly, we chose InnovateAT. I heard the opportunity through Casey Polk, and I, like everything, get super excited about something internally, but then I want approval from our team to make sure I'm on the right step. And one person's comment was, I don't know, if something like this is really where we should spend our time, but let's look into it. And I called Derek Clark, and I was like, Derek, look into InnovateAT. What do you think? And responded immediately, like I knew he would. Shelli, this is a no-brainer. The athletic trainers within InnovateAT think the way that you and I think. They think the way that ARYSE thinks. They think along our core value, which is innovation, and we need to be a part of this. So that is why we joined InnovateAT as a partner. So super excited about that opportunity. I can't hear you.
No, that's great. I was on mute. I apologize.
Okay, no, you're good.
Yeah, that's great. Every time I talk with people and I listen to them, there's new stuff I learn every time. So that's even a deeper level of the understanding of your support and respect for not just InnovateAT as the company or organization, but each one of these athletic trainers that is really taking a risk and doing something way outside the box. Yeah. We always talk about internally how athletic training has always been an institutional based job. And especially the ones on the call, they're looking at, well, how do I go into private practice? How do I do something for myself and be successful for my family without relying on everyone else to do it for me? So it's fantastic that you guys are aligned with our mission and our values, because that's how long-term strategic partnerships can be successful.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Dive in a little bit deeper. You kind of briefly touched it, just how you feel the opportunity for athletic trainers with ARYSE. Just kind of dive in a little bit deeper about how that can be beneficial to not just the athletic trainer as either a clinician or a business owner, but also their relationship with the athlete themselves.
Yeah. So one thing that ARYSE does, and this could frustrate some people, is we really evaluate each situation different. We have processes in place, but if a new opportunity comes to us, we're always going to look at it. And if you would have told us 3 years ago when we were starting this vertical that we would be having athletic endorsers from NFL, NBA, and then yesterday met the most amazing man who's a Paralympic on our team, we would have said, no way. But the reason that we can do that is because we want to connect with the athletes. But also on top of that, we understand, and I do even more. I did not know this 2 years ago. I'll be very honest. I thought my market segment would be coaches. That's where I had all of my relationships, just because of what my dad did. And I was super tied into collegiate level basketball coaches. But what I quickly found out was everything that we needed was through an athletic trainer. The athletic trainer is the one who's there every single day. And if we are not meeting their needs, then we are completely missing the boat. So we could think something's an awesome idea, but if it doesn't resonate within what they're doing on a daily basis, it really means nothing. And through that, I started building relationships, and some of my closest friends now are athletic trainers. And so I have gotten to know their world and love their world. But where the opportunity is just like we took a risk to start this company, and I took a risk being a single mom, walking away from my job, hoping I could provide for my kids, and thank goodness I did. But where we see this is because we love to take risks. We want to take them alongside athletic trainers who are taking them. And so we have listened to what needs are out there, and it's more income so that you can go do your own thing. And so we not only have the best products, I believe, on the market to meet your needs, but we also have a way that y'all can do an affiliate code with us where you can make additional income if you use ARYSE products. And so those were kind of two ways that we felt like we could help bridge that gap and work with the athletic trainers out there outside of the typical.
So dive in a little bit deeper, maybe do like an example of a use case of an athletic trainer that might be able to generate a little bit of additional income for themselves selling ARYSE. Is it to a coach? Is it to an athlete? Is it to a parent? Do a little bit of a story.
Yeah. So it's still really working out the details, but a current one that we're working with is, well, Adam, I'm just going to use you as an example because you're one that I've actually done this with. So 2 weeks ago, Adam signed up for an affiliate code and brought me into his high school. El Reno loves our products. His football coach wants our X-Fast on most of his athletes, his skilled and his linemen. And because Adam brought me into that, I'm able to give him a referral fee for that. But then also, if Adam puts our iFast or X-Fast or S-Fast, whatever it might be, on any of his athletes that utilize him outside of his high school, he has an affiliate code where he can lead them back to our website. They can purchase products, and the percentage of that sale goes back to him as if he was our sales rep. Because we know more products are going to move if the athletic trainer believes in it. And it's a way that we're not just taking all of your leads and just saying, oh, thank you, lead them to our website. And you know what? I just paid for college for my kids. Thanks a lot. Not only did I pay for college for my kids, you all are able to get that significant income coming back to you also. So that's like a true case study, one that's actually working, one that we're doing right now. So I don't know if that's kind of what you were asking, Adam.
That's perfect. That's exactly what I wanted you to mention. And the reason I want the people on the call and the people who might hear this in the future, one of the major things you're doing with InnovateAT is exactly what it says. We're innovating athletic training. And you as an athletic trainer are sitting on $1 trillion opportunity. You are the broker of everything around sports, yet everyone else benefits and you're the last person to benefit. So Shelli said it right. There's these companies that are making a bunch of money off of us, hospital executives, clinic owners, and the athletic trainers now are unemployed. But we have all the relationships that everybody wants. So how ARYSE is positioning you as the stakeholder that everybody works through is invaluable for you and your professional career. Talk a little bit more about the actual braces so these athletic trainers understand like what type of athlete they should be looking for, like age, what type of sport.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we have braces that can help any age, anyone's ailment out there. Obviously, we are a brace company, so we have to have those even post-surgical braces, right? So if you look in our catalog, you'll be like, okay, well, I see what everyone else has. Very true. But we have a section in there that centers around functional stability. And Derek Clark is listening to this Zoom, and I hope I don't make you cringe, Derek, because I don't speak in the athletic trainer terms that Derek does. So I always tell people, you're going to get the dumbed down version with me. And if you want all the technical version, we can do another one of these with Derek. And in fact, ARYSE is going to start doing webinars with Derek. So if you guys want to dive in and learn the ins and outs and the nitty gritty, I welcome you to join that call. Adam, if you want to send out a link later to that, feel free. That is where you're going to get the meat of it. But the overall summary of what I really feel like our athletic trainers can utilize with their affiliate code the most would be our functional stability line. So we partnered with a man, his name is Doak Ostergaard, former athletic trainer from the University of Nebraska, and he is super smart. He knows how the body works and how it functions. And he is the original inventor of the Soli shoulder system. So I'm sure most of you have Solis in your athletic training rooms back at your colleges and high schools if you're still employed there. He was the mind behind that. What happened was that patent ran out. So we actually have our own version called the ASCII, which we will kill anyone's price on. So feel free to reach out to us about that. But he wanted to take that product line a step further. And he had been innovating ankle systems. We don't call them braces as much as it's hard not to. We really try to call it an ankle system because a brace is going to hold something static. So it's like if you tape or put a static brace on, that joint loses its mobility. And what Doak realized is the only time anything on the ankle needs to really work is at the end range of motion when it's going to sprain. And I wish I had one right here. I didn't even grab one to show you all the visual, but you can ask me more questions after and I could try to grab one. But it basically mimics the skin, the exoskeleton, and our ligaments. And the only function of the brace really is the external ligament that he's built into it. So when that athlete's ankle goes to roll, it's going to feel the pressure and it's going to engage while not disrupting the rest of your kinetic chain. So what I'm super excited about, just as a female, obviously a female founder of a company, is female athletes are coming to us now because they're starting to see our IFAS, especially in soccer and volleyball, that if they're in a static brace, they're starting to see much greater ACL tears. And so if we really feel, if we can keep the ankle protected, but functional as it's supposed to be functioning and not screw up the kinetic chain, we are going to help those female athletes whose knees actually go in and our hips go out. And so those are Shelli's words, not athletic trainer words. But that is really where we're seeing a bulk of the athletic trainers coming in and saying, we can use these on our little guys and gals who are 12 years old up to the professional athletes and beyond. And then I'm not going to get into it today, but one day let's talk about our RFAST and the COG. I would love for Derek to be able to talk about that one day because that is just brilliant. And we will have the capability to scan every single athlete's unique foot so that we can get an exact fit to each athlete through our RFAST. So that would be another topic of discussion another time.
No, that's great. We can continue to have multiple topics just to continue to educate the community. Your previous experience within the healthcare field and working probably with providers from physical therapists to orthopedic surgeons to general sports med docs, what is your professional insight into the dynamic of how athletic training is progressing as a profession and trying to be more of a leader within the healthcare space? Like, what is just your thoughts, your insight, just being involved in the field so closely?
Well, it was interesting because when I was sitting at InnovateAT and I was listening to everything, and I had brought my son with, and he loves data and he loves big thinking, and I could just tell his brain was just clicking with all these ideas. And I looked at him and I said, I honestly feel the safest if anything medically was to go wrong in this room, because I don't think anyone, unless you've worked hand in hand with an athletic trainer, understand how much you all do for our athletes and the day-to-day. Like, my mind has been blown just seeing that. On a personal level, I love athletic trainers because y'all are down to earth and I can come in and just be me, and I don't have to worry about putting on my skirt and my heels and walking into the surgeon's office. So I love that. I love being on the sidelines with y'all and just watching you work every day. I joke that I used to always watch the coaches, and I still do, because I love to watch how they conduct themselves, if they're more strict, if they're more traditional, because my dad was a coach. I'll always be a coach's daughter. Like, I am the sports nerd that shows up warm up, so I can watch how they warm up their players. I can watch how the coaches coach. But now I've started watching the athletic trainers, and it's just so interesting to see how it all works together that I never used to understand. And I just think, for me personally, because I took such a big risk and I've gotten to where I am today, whenever I hear that people are doing that, and with the skill set that athletic trainers has, the first call I always make when one of my kids is hurt is to a dear friend of mine, Murphy Grant, an athletic trainer. I'm like, Murphy, help me out. What do I do with Bria's neck? What do I do? And then to know that he is already starting a side consulting business for that was brilliant in my mind. I didn't know it was happening until that conversation. And then to find everyone at InnovateAT that they're doing the same thing, I just knew y'all were on the right track. I don't know if I answered your question. I got a little distracted.
No, there's not a right or wrong answer.
Okay.
How you answered it was how you felt about the profession. So that's good. That's great. We'll open it up. If anyone has a question, I'll start with Derek, just because of his closeness to the company and being an athletic trainer. Derek, give your perspective on how it compares with some of the ARYSE competition, you know, in the brace world, and just how you've found such valuable results with your athletes.
Hold on one second, because like I said, I'm sitting in a mechanics place right now, and I'm trying to find a TV remote to mute this TV. There we go. So if it gets too loud, just let me know. No, I don't think there is a comparable product that's out there. So if you look at the way taping is on ankles, it's pretty much, I mean, there's a couple different ways to skin the cat, but for the most part, there's going to be certain things that you want to see in every tape job. And the most common ankle brace, most used ankle brace out there is an ASO. And once that patent wore out, everybody started making their own version of an ASO. And so when you see the X Fast and the I Fast and down the road the R Fast compared to like the Breg Ultra, the DonJoy Velocity, there's no comparison. I mean, when you look at how they're built and how they're designed and then what's underneath them, that's what's really interesting to me when you're placing a dynamic active system on a dynamic active joint that mimics the way that joint functions. So instead of trying to inhibit the way the body works and the kinetic chain works in order to protect itself, and you're limiting range of motion that's put there by a creator that's way better than any of us in design, when you're not affecting that, but you're promoting that motion to allow the rest of the kinetic chain to work the way it's supposed to, but then protecting it the way it was designed to. I mean, to me, there's just nothing out there that I've seen to you know, compete with that.
Oh, that's good. What's been the response from athletes and coaches that you've talked to? What do they think about it?
So the big thing is we're trying to change a culture, right? So when an athlete feels ankle stability, ankle support, it's again what tape feels like and what an ASO feels like. So the first time that you're putting these on these athletes, they're like, well, they don't feel anything there, and they shouldn't, because during the normal active range of motion, they shouldn't feel anything. It should be uninhibited. And you know, I always have them get up and I tell them to do the inversion ankle sprain test, you know, kind of lift their heel and try to roll their ankle to invert their ankle. And when they do that, then they're like, oh yeah, I see what you mean now. I can feel that tighten up, and it should engage just prior to where their ligament engages if we're gonna, you know, really protect that ligament to its fullest capabilities. From a coach's standpoint, most of them think they know a lot about anatomy, physiology, and all that type of stuff because they've been around it so long, but they don't know obviously to the depth that we know. And so they're always open to new things, but they want to know how it's going to affect their athletes. And so you have to change their mentality too, because these aren't injury-proof systems. There's no such thing that's out there. And so the first time you make that change, if a kid or when a athlete actually does sustain an injury, they're going to think, well, if they were taped or in normal braces, that wouldn't happen. And so you have to change their mindset and their thinking also to how this is going to not just protect their athlete, but help their athlete to be able to perform to their maximum abilities.
No, that's great insight. Now back to Shelli. If anyone on the call wants to learn more about the product, what's the best way to do that?
Yeah, I'm such a face-to-face person. I love to come out, sit on the sidelines, talk to you. We can't do that. I'm trying to find my new norm as this extrovert who is kind of stuck at home with my babies. Reach out. You can email me. Adam, is it best if you just send out whoever you know is on this call, like how to email or my phone number? Texting, I respond almost immediately to that. And we can set up a call so that I can share with y'all more. And then, like I said, tomorrow we're going to start a series of webinars that will be also on Zoom that Derek is actually going to be leading. We're going to start with the shoulder, and then I believe next week will be the ankle. And so you'll learn a lot more about our products that way. But anytime you want to set up a call with me, that's what I do pretty much 24/7 is conference calls. And then anytime that I don't know the exact answer, Derek's my guy. So he is actually going to be more on staff part, very, very, very part-time, but available to answer some of these questions because we found that his knowledge is so valuable. So I would just say text me, email me, and we'll set up a time to chat. And then, of course, if you guys want a sample of one of the braces, we do that. We want you to know what you're getting. I say, put it on yourself, go out and run in it. We can all go out still and run, play some pickup basketball in it, feel it for yourself so you know what you're going to be offering your athlete. And then ask if you're interested in being an affiliate where you get that 5% back. And on that, what it does is it gets your athletes 20% off of our website pricing. And then that 5% goes back into your pockets. We have a DocuSign that I'll send you. You have to fill out a W-9 and a little bit of information so we can get you set up. But it's very simple. And it's just a way that we hope that we can give back to y'all as we think our products are the best that you can be giving your athletes on the market.
No, that's perfect. Yeah, I think this will be one of many of these little quick interviews just to give everybody a little taste of ARYSE and your personal passion and support for what we're doing. Yeah. So athletic trainers, you know, stay happy. We're all trying to grind through this thing. We know there's athletic trainers all over the country that have been literally laid off in this crisis right now. So this can be a way to support you moving forward. And when things get back to normal, you have a launching pad with ARYSE. So Shelli, we appreciate it. When I repost it, we'll do your contact info so everybody can get in touch with you. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Cool. All right, guys. Have a good day. Thanks so much.